Welcome to this trauma-informed yoga flow. This is a great practice to do daily or even weekly to warm up the body, get those muscles moving, and enjoy some yoga. It might be handy to have a block or something for some support today, and of course, a yoga mat and a comfy place on the ground. So go ahead and get ready, and we'll jump into the practice. I'll be starting the practice today in cat-cow, so you can join me on hands and knees. If you would like some support for the knees, you can place a blanket underneath. Moving right into some spine movements. So on an inhale, lowering the stomach to the ground. Tailbone can go up. Head can look forward. If your head and neck feel good, you can look all the way up. On an exhale, rounding throughout the spine, one vertebrae at a time, tucking that tailbone under, rounding those shoulders. Inhale, lowering down, opposite movement here, tailbone up. And you can move through these cat-cows now, just working with your own breath, working with that inhale and exhale, working with your body. If it's the start of the day, you might find your back feels a little more stiff. Maybe you don't get as much movement. If it's later on in the day for you, you might find you can get more movement throughout that spine. Working through here for a little longer, listening to that breath, listening to that body. As with all my practices, this is a time for you. This is a time to sit with yourself, with your breath, with your body. There's no right or wrong way to move here. If you decide that you want to lie down halfway through, that is completely fine. If your body is craving a different movement, you can always do some variations onto what I am doing. It's your practice. Okay, from all fours here, I invite you to take your left leg and just bring it out behind you so the leg is straight and go up onto the toe. Getting a bit of a calf stretch here, and you can rock a little bit forward and back through that leg if that feels good for you. Maybe feeling a pull through that calf muscle. This is a little bit of work for the shoulders. So if the arms are getting tired, if the shoulders are getting tired, you could also go down on the forearms as well and do this to give the shoulders a bit of a break. A few more rocks back and forth. Then I invite you to take this left leg and just bring it out to the left, stretching through the inner thigh or the adductor muscles. I'm just going to move over a bit because I don't have as much room. Hopefully you have more room than I do. So a little stretch here. That left leg is straight going down to the left side. And just a nice breath here in and out. Excellent. Bringing those hands back to the middle of your back, coming onto all fours again. And then taking that right foot out behind you, we'll stretch out to the calf on the right side. Once again, maybe a few rocks here. Always the option to go down onto the forearms. Throughout this practice, we'll be focusing a lot on one side versus the other. So it might be an opportunity to notice if one side of your body feels looser or tighter or different than the other, and just observe that. Okay, bringing that right leg out to the side now, stretching out the right adductor muscle here. You might want to lean the body back a little bit, just bringing the glutes back behind you. Depending on that inner thigh and how that's feeling, everyone's body will be a little different. You might want to lean forward a little bit. So it really depends on that adductor muscle. And one more breath here. Bringing that right leg back into all fours. A few more things on all fours here, and then we'll move up to standing. Working through the core a little bit. Bird dog. From here, taking that left leg behind you, and you can keep it down, or maybe you lift it up a little bit. And if that feels steady for you, if that feels pretty good, then perhaps you take that right arm and you lift the right arm up. And you take a breath here. Completely up to you if you want to do arm leg or just one or the other. Bringing that down. And then switching to the other side, that right leg goes behind you. Maybe you lift it up. Perhaps you bring that left arm up. Breath here. And then back down. Alrighty, lean back onto the legs for a moment here. We're just going to give the hands a bit of a break. You can clasp your hands, do some fishies, do some movements here, some circles with the wrists. Perhaps going into prayer hands here and just bringing them down across your chest. I used to teach yoga. That's where the fishies come in. My little children occupation is coming back to me. Excellent. All right, moving into standing, I'll be going through a downward dog. If you would like to join me in standing instead, you can do that. If you'd like to join me in downward dog, back onto hands and knees here, fingers nice and wide, really push those hands into the mat. Come up onto the toes and push back onto those feet, push back into those hands, downward dog, hips go up. A moment here. Walking the dog out if your body is asking that of you today, bending and straightening the knees. Little movements throughout the legs and the hips here, warming up that lower body, arms also getting some work here in the downward dog shape. From here, taking your left foot, bringing it up in between your hands to high lunge. So keeping that back leg up, that front knee is going to go bent. If high lunge is not in your practice, you can drop that back knee. That is definitely an option. If you would like to do high lunge from here, many different variations. You could have the arms down. You could bring the arms up. You could rest them on your waist. If you were wanting more sensation through that back leg, you could tuck your tailbone under. That might give you more sensation through the top of the leg. One more breath here. Moving into a lizard shape, both of your hands are going to come down on the inside of your front leg here. Now, if the leg being up once again doesn't feel good for you, you could drop that back knee. If reaching down to the ground feels too far, this is a great opportunity for the block to place your hands on a block here. And then from here, a twist to the left if your body is asking that of you. Exhale, twisting back down. If your hands are on a block, you can just bring that block a little bit forward to the end of your mat here. Place your hands down, take that left leg, bring it back to downward dog again. If downward dog is not in your practice, we'll be doing the same thing on the other side, so you could rest in a different shape for a moment, or you could go right into that lunge or weight standing. One more breath here. Moving to the other side, right foot goes in between the hands, coming up to lunge on this right side, all the same options as the other side. So back knee can absolutely come down if you're up. You can have hands waist, hands up, hands down. You can tuck that tailbone under, different sensation through the front hip, anything that works for your body. Feeling into that breath here, allowing your feet to support you. When you are ready, taking those hands down to the ground, you might want to shimmy that right foot a bit, Once again, hands down, you could put the knee down, twisting over, you could leave that knee up. Sensations through the hip here, through the body. Knowing you can come out if anything doesn't feel good. One more breath here. And on an exhale, bringing that arm back. Taking that right leg, coming back to a child shape. So both your legs go behind you. You could have your knees together. You could bring them as wide as your mat if you wanted, and then just bring the hips back behind you. Arms are up. Rest. You can rest your head on a block, on the mat, on your hands. Find the shape for you. As important as it is to move our body, to move through shapes, to allow our muscles and our joints to be flexible and mobile, it's also important to rest. Whenever your body is asking you to move, coming back into a downward dog shape, we'll go up to standing again and do a couple different things. So from here, pushing up into the feet, back behind you, push down into the hands. Maybe you bend those knees, bring those hips behind you. And then slowly or quickly walk or jump up to the top of your mat. Gradually coming up to standing. I'm going to turn this way so you can see better. Once in standing, working through some flexibility and balance, taking that left hand and just sliding it down the left side of your body, side bend here. Perhaps the right arm reaches overhead. And on an exhale, that right arm drops back to standing. And on your next breath, that right arm goes down. Once again, maybe that left arm reaches over. And on an exhale, arm goes down, come back to standing. Breathe in. As you breathe out, twist the body over to the left as far as feels comfortable. Exhale back to center. Inhale here. Exhale, twist to the right as far as feels good. Exhale back to center. Amazing. Incorporating some balance into this practice, doing tree shape here. So standing on your left leg, once again, many different variations. You could take that right foot and just place it right next to the left one. If your balance feels steady and you want a little bit more, you could take that right foot onto the shin. If you're feeling you want more flexibility, more movement, you could take that right foot all the way up into the thigh. Hands can go up, hands can stay down, whatever is calling to you. And I'll be taking 3 breaths here. Sometimes it helps to find a steady spot on the ground or the wall to stare at. One more breath if you're still with me. And on your exhale, you can lower that right leg. Do some shaking out side to side. Allow the muscles some relaxation. And then moving on to the other side. So exact same thing on this side. Foot beside, foot on the shin, foot on the thigh. Hands down, hands at heart center, arms up. Your choice. 3 breaths. One more. Inhale. And on an exhale, that foot can come down once again. A little bit of shaking, a little bit of movement. Joining me at the top of your mat, flowing down into cobra, and then we'll do a pigeon shape and then onto our back. So you can join me on your stomach, you can join me in this flow. If you are joining me, inhale, arms up. Exhale, round down one vertebrae at a time. Perhaps holding here for a breath or two, allowing that back to relax. Inhale, hands go to shins. Exhale, hands go to ground, legs go behind you. You can put the knees down or you can keep them up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, gentle lift of the chest. And on your next breath, back once again to child shape. Maybe this time you keep the legs together. If it felt really good to have them apart, absolutely, you can do that. I'm resting my head on my hands this time. You might choose to do that. Maybe you want your head resting on the mat. No right or wrong way here. When you are ready, coming onto all fours. So I mentioned going into pigeon shape. So from here, you can take the left knee and bring it behind the left hand. Left foot is behind the right hand. Back leg can stay slightly bent where you can straighten it. If you have your block, if you would like, you could place a block underneath that left glute for a little bit of rest or support in through the glute there. Or you could have the block up at your hands and rest down on the block with your forearms. You can also place your forearms right on the mat. Find the version for your body today. Spending some moments here. Being in stillness can be hard. If your mind wanders, try and bring it back to your breath. If you notice your right foot is drifting, that outside of the foot is falling out, try and bring it back straight. A few more breaths if you are still joining me. If this becomes too much at any point, you are always welcome to come out. On the next exhale, wherever you are, you can come back up. Repeating on the other side, taking that left foot back behind you, right knee goes behind right hand, right foot behind left. Depending on the flexibility, it might not get close to the hand. That's a-okay. And then once again, you can put the block behind you on the glute. You could place it down on the ground in front of you and rest on it. You might even decide to keep the arms up on one side, or once again, you can go down on the forearms. Spending some moments here, just as we did on the other side. When we experience discomfort in the body or trauma, it can be hard to sit in the body. Sometimes focusing on the breath helps. Sometimes focusing on an area that feels good or neutral helps. And sometimes you just have to move and switch what you're doing, and that's fine too. Couple more breaths here. Relax the face and the jaw. Let go. On the next exhale, come back up. Wherever that block is, you can place it off to the side. You can turn onto your back. And once on your back, bending the knees so the feet are resting. Just windshield wiping those legs back and forth, both knees over to the left side and then over to the right. Working with your own body, your own movement, your own breath. Taking that left knee, bringing it up to the chest. Maybe rocking a bit side to side. Bringing that left leg down, repeating on the right side. Bringing that right leg down, arms into cactus arcs. So elbows bend at 90 degrees, forearms and palms up. Gentle chest stretch here. And then straightening the legs. Maybe arms go above your head for a big final stretch here. Inhale. Exhale, let it all go. And resting on your back for a moment for a breath. When you're ready, turning onto your side, coming up to sitting, ending the practice in any sitting shape that feels good for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was a nice flow for your day, and I will see you next time.